You ever notice how you treat money from your paycheck totally differently than money you get as a gift? Or how a surprise tax refund just kind of vanishes? Well, there's actually a name for that hidden financial habit we all have, and today we're going to pull back the curtain on it.
All right, let's just jump right in with a question. Think about it for a second. $100 from an unexpected bonus. That feels like fun money, doesn't it? Super easy to spend. But a $100 raise, oh, that feels different. That feels serious. That should probably go towards bills or savings. So what's going on? It's the exact same amount of money, but for some reason our brains just don't see it that way.
Well, this little psychological quirk has a name, and it's a huge deal in behavioral finance. It's called mental accounting. And believe me, it is the invisible force that is guiding so many of the money choices we make every single day without us even realizing it.
So what is it exactly? Well, at its core, mental accounting is just our brain's weird tendency to create these little mental buckets for our money. We subconsciously slap labels on our cash based on where it came from or what we're planning to do with it. And once it's in a bucket, we treat it with a completely different set of rules.
Okay, so let's see how this actually plays out in the real world, because this is where it gets interesting. This is where most of us fall into the trap without even knowing. We're not talking about abstract theory here. We're talking about your morning coffee, your groceries, your late-night online shopping, all of it.
This right here is probably the most common example. For our salary, we have a pretty strict mental budget, right? We watch it carefully, especially when we're getting close to the end of the month. But windfall money, a bonus, a gift, a tax refund, that goes into a totally different bucket. That's the splurge bucket. And we spend it with way less guilt or second guessing.
And this quote just cuts right through all the noise. It points out the huge logical flaw in our thinking. In reality, money is what they call fungible, which is just a fancy way of saying a dollar is a dollar, no matter where it came from. 500 rupees from your salary has the exact same buying power as 500 rupees from a bonus. But our mental accounting tricks us into forgetting this simple, basic fact.
And it gets even deeper. The way we pay also triggers our mental accounting. When you hand over physical cash, it feels real. You feel that loss. But swiping a card? That's abstract. It's almost painless in the moment. Which, of course, is why it is so easy to overspend when we're not dealing with actual bills and coins.
And you better believe companies know this. The entire use now, pay later industry is literally built on this exact principle. These schemes are designed to maximize that feeling of painless, abstract spending. They push the real pain of payment way off into the future, and that just encourages us to buy more than we should.
Okay, here's another really subtle trap our brains fall into. We often think in percentages, not in absolute dollars. So a $100 discount on a cheap little accessory, that feels like a massive win. But that same $100 discount on an expensive laptop, our brain just dismisses it as a tiny fraction of the total cost, even though the savings are literally identical.
Now let's raise the stakes, because this isn't just about small, everyday purchases. Mental accounting can have a huge and often pretty negative impact on our long-term wealth, especially when we get into the world of investing.
Just look at this classic scenario. Let's say someone has a high-interest credit card loan, maybe at 18%. But at the same time, they're putting money into a safe investment that's only earning 4%. See, they've mentally separated the debt money from the investment money, but the math doesn't care about mental buckets. The interest they're paying on their debt is just gobbling up their investment gains, and then some. They are effectively losing money.
So the purely logical approach, the smart move, is to use that investment money to clear the high-interest debt first. Think about it. Paying off an 18% loan is like getting a guaranteed 18% return on your money. It's honestly one of the best investments you can possibly make.
And oh, this one. Here's another classic investor's dilemma, and it is fueled entirely by mental accounting. We've all been there, right? Watching a stock in our portfolio just sink lower and lower and lower. And for some reason, we just can't bring ourselves to sell it. Why is that so hard?
Well, it's all about the difference between a paper loss and a real loss. As long as you hold on to that stock, the loss feels, well, theoretical. Maybe it'll come back. But the second you click sell, you have to admit you made a mistake. You make that loss tangible, permanent. It's a mental game we play to avoid the pain of being wrong. But okay, here's the big twist. After all these examples of how mental accounting can trick us and lead us astray, what if I told you it's not all bad? What if we could actually flip the script and turn this psychological quirk into a powerful tool that works for us?
Because the good news is we absolutely can. That same habit of putting money into mental buckets can be incredibly effective when we stop doing it by accident and start doing it on purpose, linking those buckets directly to our biggest financial goals.
This is where it becomes a superpower. When you intentionally create a bucket for your retirement, or for your kids' education, or for a down payment on a house, you mentally fence that money off. It's protected. It's not just part of your general funds anymore. It has a specific, important job, which makes you way less likely to raid it for something else.
And this exact same mindset is crucial when you're handling money that isn't even yours. Whether you're managing funds for a local charity, a community group, or a family trust, mental accounting helps you create this strong psychological wall. It separates my money from their money and helps you act with total responsibility.
So we've really taken a journey here. We've gone from understanding a hidden, subconscious habit to seeing how we can actually transform it into a conscious, intentional tool to build a better financial life.
And this right here is probably the most important takeaway of all. Look, you're not going to stop your brain from doing this. It's just a natural cognitive shortcut. The goal isn't to fight it. The goal is to grab the steering wheel and do it on purpose for your own benefit.
Ultimately, it all comes back to this one simple principle. You have to recognize that every single dollar has the exact same value no matter where it came from. And then you direct it with intention and wisdom toward the things that really truly matter to you.
So I'll just leave you with this question. You now have a name for this powerful force in your financial life. You know how it can trick you, but you also know how it can serve you. The only question left is, what are you going to do with it?